Everybody, welcome to this week's installment on the Bridge the Gap YouTube channel, coming to you live from Palm Springs. This will be my last one in California for the foreseeable future. Going to be spending the summer in Austin, Texas. So if you guys are out there, holler at your boy. We'll get right into it. We have a ton to cover. So I told you guys how to play baseball, but so much what separates a good player from a great player or a break-even player from a winning player is some of the behind-the-scenes intangibles that go into DFS. A lot of that is the work that you're putting in behind the scenes, your approach, how you process things when it's not going well mentally and when it is going well mentally. These are all the things that we want to strive to be better at. You always want to ask yourself, what would an amateur do? What would a professional do? And if you have any behavior that falls under the amateur category, we want to work towards striking that out and replacing it with behavior that a professional would do. So with that in mind, we're going to spend our time this week talking about the best professional shooter in the history of basketball and talk about what Steph Curry does and his approach to shooting can teach us about being better MLB DFS players. Before we get into that, we'll just do a quick review. The last couple weeks, shown you guys anything and everything that you need to know about MLB. I get a lot of questions of, dude, is it really this simple? Or do you promise this is what you? It's like, yeah, dude, this is what I 100% promise. This is what I do. This is what I've done. Full transparency. We're actually going to go over my actual results. You guys can see the real life results that I had in this video. And I have no secrets. You can look up on lineup study. We covered that last week if you actually want to see how I play. 100% of the ways that we talk about in these videos is how I play. It's been profitable for 3 years now. And baseball is actually the sport that 2 summers ago I was like, you know what? I think I could do this professionally. So it's not my most profitable sport, but I have been profitable for 3 years. So we did the MLB. We talked about Osmo and how I approach 20 maxes and contest selection and how to diversify to, write out the variance. And then last week we finally got into FC Pro and did our review on that. So, the views are going up and up and up. I think I was getting 5 views from a few friends who felt bad for me when I first started the YouTube page, and now we're getting 50, 60, 70, some videos over 100. That doesn't seem like a lot. To some people, it's a lot to me. So thank you guys so much. You are 100% the reason why I'm doing this. I'm very, very passionate about player empowerment, and a lot of people are very doom and gloom about the status of DFS right now, and I think that's completely false. I think that with the deregulation of the federal ban on sports gambling that was overturned last year, that's going to be great news for DFS, because sports gambling is incredibly lucrative for the sports books. So a lot of guys that talk about being winning DFS players, we know that true number is only 10%. It's probably even less for winning sports bettors. So that means companies like FanDuel and DraftKings stand to make a lot of money from being in the sports betting business, which in turn is going to benefit players like us. And that's what we are seeing with some of the player promotions that they're running this month, like with the May leaderboard we saw in the last video. They're giving back to the players. The rake is high, but if you're a high volume player, they're giving back in crowns and daily dollar rewards. I would prefer to pay less in rake. It's the best that we can do right now. So let's appreciate it while it's here, and let's continue to stay optimistic about the future viability of DFS. But this is why I do it. The more winning players out there, the longer it stays around. And I've been getting a ton of great feedback from the videos that we've done to help you guys become better players. So Steph Curry, I often will tweet out shooters shoot. Baseball is incredibly tough. It's a lot less consistent for me than basketball, and I lose way more often than I do. And you have to be able to stay encouraged in a few ways, and I'm going to tell you guys how you can do that from a data perspective, from a mental perspective, and also from a spiritual perspective, because everyone that plays DFS is always looking for as many edges as they can get. So I'm going to show you guys some of the things that I do to maintain my edge, to help you when things aren't going so well. So first thing I want to do is I want to just take a look at Steph Curry, because this is very important. So one of the things that we want to look at is sample size, because we talk a lot about variance. Again, variance is basically a calculation of when things are going really well, you're experiencing, positive variance. When things aren't going well, negative variance. But somewhere there's going to be truth. So if we look at Steph Curry's numbers throughout his career, we look at his field goal percentage, and on average he's taking 17 shots a game. He's making 8 of them for about 48%. So there's going to be stretches where he misses 10 in a row. He's going to make 10 in a row. There's going to be stretches where it's miss, miss, make, miss, miss, miss. It's going to be all over the map. But at the end of the year, we can consistently see throughout his career, he's been, in the, 45 to 50% range. And that's really what we want to focus on, especially with a sport like baseball. And that's why I'm telling you guys, play all the slates, build up your sample size, learn how to play the game, start very low. If you can afford to put in $10 a day, do one step lower. Always go one step lower. I could comfortably play at the $4 level right now with baseball, but because of the variance, I don't. So I play one level lower than I'm comfortable playing. So I always recommend, hey, what are you comfortable with? Let's take one step down and we'll be even more comfortable so we can ride out this variance, because baseball, it's, you guys have seen some of the runs that I've had on Twitter. Beginning of May, I lost 2 weeks in a row. I got back on track the third week, won about a week in a row. And then this last week to wrap up the month, I've lost a week in a row. And that's just how it's going to go. But I'm still up overall for the month, just consistently doing what I'm doing. And that's why I say shoot or shoot. I have the sample size to know that when things aren't going well, my numbers say, and I have a big sample size, and we're going to review it, that I need to continue to shoot. I need to continue to play the game, stay. And that's why it's so important. You guys think I'm crazy. I always talk about bankroll management. It's because that's the number one thing that's going to kill you. I got an email from a guy today who's like, dude, things are finally clicking for me. I'm up $700 in the 2 weeks since I've started implementing what you said to do. And in the past, I would have wiped all of that out had I not got disciplined and started implementing a bankroll management plan similar to the one that you recommended. It's like, that's all we do here. It's the simplest stuff. But do you have the discipline to be a professional, or do you want to continue to play Mickey Mouse games and be an amateur? I don't care. Do all the amateur stuff you want. That's better for me, because every time you win being a professional, and then you do some Mickey Mouse stuff like an amateur, that's good, because all of us that are taking a professional approach, we're just going to scoop that money up when things do turn for us. So do yourself a favor and be a professional. Build up your sample size. I'm going to stop right here with the intro, and then we're going to start diving deeper into what the data looks like, so you guys can get a better idea of the connection I'm trying to make between Steph Curry and the similarities when firing in DFS when it's not going well.